What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Run It Up. Very special episode. You know, we have Antonio yesterday, and Antonio is special. But Dan, I haven't actually had you on the show since before Antonio. It's actually been like a year and a month or something.
It has been a while, but you know, I'm just so happy to be back. I've been waiting. I've been trying to get on the show, but
I've been very busy.
You're big time at me these days.
Well, let's tell you guys what we're doing here today. Dan's going to be playing some $2, $5 on entirely Dan O'Brien money. So we're just going to play some high-stakes poker, kind of sort of mid-stakes, I guess. We're going to see how Dan O'Brien lives, you know?
Dan O'Brien money.
We're going to learn some lessons. They'll show us, like, you know, what it's like to be Dan O'Brien for a couple episodes.
Is that what we're going to show you?
That's what the fans want, I think, you know?
I haven't played online poker in some time. I was on the road for a while.
Right?
Pretty
Busy
much,
life?
yeah, I left Vegas end of July.
After the World Series?
Right. And I've been just on the road. I was in New Jersey, but not long enough to play there because I was just there for a wedding.
Right.
In New York, Dublin, Hilton Head.
Dublin? What was in Dublin?
My buddy got married.
Oh,
it was awesome. Incredible.
That's so nice of you.
It was like a wedding camp. You go to a place and then you sleep over. You party all night, you sleep over.
Okay.
And then you like barbecue, hang out, and party the next day.
That sounds awesome.
And then you sleep over again. It's really the best idea for a wedding.
There you go. It sounds great. Yeah. I got invited to Max Silver's wedding, which was in Dublin, and I confirmed I was going to go. I was really excited, and then there were too many things going on. Run It Up took too much time. I had to cancel everything.
Wow, Max must have been devastated.
I sent him a nice gift. Vincent sent him a nice gift. I obviously said no gift sending.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. So how did Florida go? You went from all that stuff to Florida, right?
I did. I went and played the 10 million.
Yep.
Which didn't quite get 10 million,
yep.
But fortunately they ponied up the extra dough.
Yep, that was nice of them to do that.
Yeah. The tournament went all right. I made a little bit of money. I played a little bit of cash and won.
Nice.
Did
you cash the event?
I cashed the event for
cool.
12.5.
Nice.
I was in 2 bullets for 10.6.
Okay,
so I made almost 2K in that.
Yeah.
But, all right, so I'll have to set the scene to really understand just how devastating this was.
Okay.
With 115 people left, I'm just below average after running up a 10 blind stack.
After running it up.
Yes. Nice.
Thank you.
So I have, it was at 4.8 and I got 270,000 or so. So we'll say 35 blinds. Okay. So I'm feeling pretty good, especially coming off 80,000.
Sure, sure.
My buddy Berkey, who we swapped 10%, I have 10% of him, and he has like 700,000 or 800,000.
Wow.
So heaps.
Yeah.
And then our friend Brandon Garrity, who we just put in the event because there was a big overlay.
Sure, sure.
He bought a piece of himself. We put up a good chunk. I had 40% of him, and he has heaps also, about 750,000, 800,000.
Damn, that's a lot of skin in the game.
Yeah, exactly. And it's 1.4 million to first. It's
like,
okay, well, we got a pretty good shot to make some real money here. So
sure.
Really getting in the zone. 115 people left. I end up with 35 blinds. It goes open from under the gun, 8-handed, from a guy who's pretty solid, but can definitely splash a little bit.
Okay.
Gets 2 calls from pretty aggro guys. One guy's super aggro, other guy with a stack that plays pretty confidently.
Okay.
And it gets to me in the small blind, 35 blinds. And I think I can honestly shove here profitably, but I think the tournament is fairly soft.
What is your hand?
8s, excuse me.
Yeah.
So I pocket 8s. The tournament's fairly soft. My table is fairly soft.
I don't mind calling.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit, in a cash game it's different. But I think...
Sure, or if it's a tough tournament, I think it'd be a more
right.
Just a shove.
So I think my
there.
tournament life is a little bit too valuable to shove, so I just decided to call.
Okay.
Big blind folds, 4 ways to the flop.
Okay.
Jack 8-6 rainbow.
Oh.
Pretty good.
That's
pretty
right.
good.
That's right.
So I check, razor checks.
Okay.
Spewy guy checks. Pretty competent but loose guy bets 70,000 on the button.
Okay, into a pot size that is at this point like...
Sorry. He bets 33,000. That makes me more sense.
Okay, yeah.
And the pot, I think the first guy opened for around 20 or 22.
Okay, so there's like 80,
it's like 80,
190.
Yeah, 85, 90 in the pot.
Okay.
So I check raise to 70,000.
With like at this point you have how much behind? Like
with about 160, 170
Okay,
behind.
so you're planning to shove on any turn because there's nothing you can do at that point once you call.
Exactly. And even though it's, I'm rarely going to be light here, I think it's better than shoving or calling because there's just too many people in the pot. I don't want to risk a bad card coming off.
Sure,
I value my tournament life. The pot's big enough.
And you think shoving is going to just drive them out too often with the hands that you're beating.
Right. I don't think I need to shove by any means. And I could definitely be light here often enough because he's just betting in position. And if he doesn't have anything, even though it's not a huge raise, he's just going to have to fold a lot.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
So
No, I like it.
right. So I check raise 70,000. The initial opener under the gun moves all in for about, he covers me by like 15 or 20,000.
Okay.
So speed guy folds,
You snap
button better
call.
folds,
Yeah.
and I do snap, but not confidently.
Sure.
Because when this happens, the guy's just going to have top set enough times. And he's not going to have it enough for me to fold.
Sure. Of course.
Because he not only can he have sixes, but he can have
Jack 8, Ace Jack, aces. Sometimes.
Exactly. He could be trapping with a worse hand.
Yeah.
He could even, with the two speed guys behind him,
Yeah.
he could even have queens, kings, or aces.
Sure.
And have planned to try to
trap and then make this happen.
I'm mid-story.
That's fine.
So yeah, he could easily be just trying to get one of them to bet and then shove over it.
Right.
And now that there's a bet and a check raise, like I'm pretty active also. It's like, well, he doesn't know what to do. I'm just going to shove.
Right.
So I think there's definitely enough hands that I'm beating.
I agree with that.
Where I
Also-
can never ever fold.
Right.
So I'm just like, I call, and he has jacks, and it's just like, Jesus Christ!
What can you do?
I mean, I just run up this stack, and now
Yeah.
I'm losing to top set with middle set. It's just such a
set over
disaster.
setted, yeah.
So
Hold 'em.
so I don't get there.
That's-
Okay, we're gonna have a little fun with this guy.
Okay, I like it.
I don't know what he's doing here, but we're gonna go ahead and
You're-
just start to raise.
I think you're my first run-it-up guest that has had entirely all of their own action, and I just get to watch. I think this is the first time that I just get to hang out and just talk. I'm excited about this.
This is kind of fun. I wonder if he is really planning on going for it or not.
Do you think if he has like Queen 8 here, there's a chance he might fold it? If he somehow bet out with like a weak queen in this
I think he's going to have a weak queen like all the time. See, this is actually a brutal river. He's not going to have a 3, but I'm not going to have a 3.
Yeah, sure.
And I was planning on shoving. Now it's going to be a little tougher.
Yeah, and you can't do anything once he bets, yeah. He definitely has some threes. I mean, not like a lot of threes, but he has some threes, and he obviously just has his beat almost
3-5
always.
or something.
Yeah.
Well, almost always. Yeah, he's probably got the 10 high beat here.
Yeah, that's a good.
This is kind of annoying. We're going to have to fold, but
whatever. I actually think your play is pretty reasonable.
I mean, I think if it's pretty much any non-5 or 6, I think or queen.
A 3 or 6. You mean.
Right, yeah. Well, no, 3 I'm just going to shove because I'm going to have an ace more often than he's going to have an ace.
Sure. Why do you say no 5 then?
Just because he can have a 5 sometimes.
You
so I
think
can
5
pair.
is enough? Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, maybe I'll still shove, but probably not.
Right.
I'll shove a deuce for sure.
You could still have aces and kings yourself, ace queen, king queen. You could definitely still shove a 5 sometimes again to maybe fold like a weaker queen. If maybe sometimes. Sometimes. I'm not saying all the time.
Yeah. I think he should fold a queen to a shove. I mean, obviously not like king queen.
Sure, of course, but maybe sometimes. I actually just saw earlier today that you're now like 21st on the Global Poker Index. Is that true?
I don't know.
I
don't know why I would be. I don't know what I've done of late.
I could have sworn that I saw. Maybe it was like in North America you're 21, but that's still pretty awesome. You're like top 50 or.
I was. I know I was in the 20s for a while.
Yeah.
But then I just haven't really done much.
Right.
And I keep not closing tournaments when I can. But we've talked about that.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum. But I guess I just came in 7th in LA. But it just aired.
Oh, right.
That was in February. And, they only take a couple of samples from your overall results. So
how do you feel about what they're doing generally with the GPI and all that stuff?
I think it's good. I mean, it's really hard when... they're trying to model it after golf. Like, that was the original way to go about it.
Right.
Which makes sense. I think there's a lot of parallels between scoring, golf competitiveness and tournament competitiveness.
Sure.
I don't know enough about the system to really comment intelligently.
Right.
But it seems pretty good. And you don't want a system where guys that are playing, like, tons of 500s and 1Ks are winning.
Sure.
Or, honestly, that just people that are playing, 20 tournaments a month are going to have a big advantage.
Right.
Because you're just that's not showing you who the best players are.
Right. It's showing you who the grinders are.
Right. And, the best players aren't going to be playing as many of those tournaments.
Right,
so
of course.
It's just not really fair. Can I reload here? Is that allowed?
Yeah, you can reload anything you want to do.
Okay,
This is the Dan O'Brien show. I'm just merely the guest here today.
Okay. So wait, let me get back to complaining about Florida.
Okay.
So I bust. Okay. So a lot of people are going to call here.
I like it. Let's
I'm not
let's
going
punish
to
the
call.
Moon Girl.
You
should have
for
made
a couple of
44.
reasons.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have just really given it away. Now, it's a little annoying because she can 4-bet to a pretty good number.
What is your guys'
spot.
history? I forgot that we didn't even talk about
So she can 4-bet like really really profitably here.
Yeah.
So we're just going to stuff.
I like it.
She's going to have enough like ace, king, ace, queen value hands where we're actually
Just
small
flipping,
favorite.
and she'll actually fold sometimes.
And I think she's going to fold a fair amount of the time. But we'll find out.
Uh-oh, she says okay.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. Oh.
Unreal.
Diamond.
Diamond, that's...
So close.
Come on. Get there, Honor.
Oh.
God, so brutal.
Ugh. That D-Moon girl. What can you do? I think this is the first time that I've ever played or seen poker be played against D-Moon girl. Oh, no, I played live against D-Moon girl one time. But,
I think that's a really good shove for me, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Tell us more about how you love your shove there. I like it, too, though. I think it's good.
Do you hear this idiot? Did you just say in the box?
You can't see it because our camera is over it, but I'll do the D-Moon impression. And she said, "Oh, Dan O'Brien money feels so good on my titties." And she said, that comment is for you guys. So you guys can see, look, she's actually talking to the Legion. There you go.
God.
There you go.
Screw her.
Now you guys can see that there.
I think I put on auto reload now, so we're not going to know how much I'm up or down, but
we'll know.
Hopefully I'll just go up from here.
Hopefully we just go up from here.
All right, so if I could just finish complaining.
Yeah, go please, Florida. Let's hear it.
So I have big chunks of Berkey and Garrity.
Right.
And somehow, an hour and a half after I bust, they're both out.
An hour and a half later?
Yeah. I think they both
had
made
800K?
Yeah, and I think they both cashed for 20,000 or something.
Wow.
Which, not the worst amount of money, but
yeah. It's brutal.
Yeah, first is 1.4 million, and there's huge money up top.
Yeah, your expectation is obviously way higher than 50K or whatever it is you guys made.
Yeah,
that always sucks when that happens. We had at one point, I think there was a tournament that a couple of years ago we had like 12 or 14 horses with like, I want to say it was like 35 or 40 players left in like a LAPC or something like that, and we had nobody make the final table. It was like, how does that even happen? It's just like brutal. Poker.
Yeah. So back to the four shove. I think that first of all, 3-betting it I think is better than calling because I'm just not deep enough to play it profitably in position like as a set mine.
You don't think so?
I think it's fine to do for sure, but I just mean like set mining alone.
Sure.
I think I'll be able to play my hands.
You'll still win the pot in position unimproved.
Right. Yeah. I think I'll play fine.
Yeah.
But I just think in general, like 3-betting those kind of pairs is something that people don't do all that often, and I
in position.
Yeah. And I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. It's always good to 3-bet in position. Who doesn't love to 3-bet in position?
Right. So I think that's fine. And if I'm 3-betting, then I need to be 5-betting.
I agree with that.
Because she can 4-bet very profitably. It's a situation
where
I'm going to be pretty light.
Right.
And she can leverage my stack really, really well.
Right, exactly.
So if I'm letting her do that, then I need to shove through. So with that, whole run out, I guess I can just flat. And maybe flatting's a little bit better than 3-betting.
Yeah, but it seems really close.
But yeah, I think it's fine. And honestly, I don't really care. I'd rather just let her try and take my money and then get it in with the best of it.
Yeah, that's right.
There's not that many pairs, there's a lot of pairs bigger than 4s, but she's not going to 4-bet call 5s.
Sure,
or 7s, and probably not even 8s. So maybe 8s,
plus,
probably 9s, definitely 10s.
So let me ask you, obviously you and Danielle have had a lot of time spent together in the last few months with your Me vs. You stuff, which has been absolutely awesome. I just had the honor of watching episode 10 with you, which was, I thought, one of the best episodes you guys have ever done.
I'm pretty proud of that one.
That one was great. A little pole dancing if you guys haven't seen it. So tell me a little bit more about what that process was like, because I was involved in the very beginning and then towards the very end, and really not in the middle at all. Did you enjoy the whole experience? Was it fun? Was it ever did it ever get to a point where you and Danielle were actually at each other's throats, or were you guys mostly friendly the whole time? Give us the inside scoop here.
We're pretty chill. I'm going to go ahead and check this back because this guy doesn't seem to like folding on queen high board.
Okay.
Maybe I'll hit a 9?
No.
Maybe I can bet an 8. It's a little thin.
You actually have the best hand sometimes. He has lower clubs or 6-7, 7-9 sometimes.
I really want to raise. God, this guy has not shown that he likes to fold. I really want to raise. God, I'm not gonna.
I like how you put those sentences together. The guy doesn't want to fold. But I really want to raise.
It's an annoying bet. It's so clear that he doesn't have anything.
I get it.
Every once in a while.
Once in a while.
I'm not going to comment on this as much until something interesting happens.
I get it.
I just wanted to get that guy.
I feel you.
So anyhow, Me vs. You has been awesome. It's been a great experience.
Right.
I think
this is your first time doing a show like this, really, right?
Yeah. It's, you learn every time you do something like this.
Absolutely.
I think if you watch the earliest episodes, we're just a lot more awkward on camera.
Of course.
It's
Dude,
never...
You particularly, I feel like, throughout the course of the season, not that Danielle doesn't improve, but I feel like you particularly, by the end of the season, are, like, a really, really good on camera. Like, I feel like it takes a lot of practice to get good at it, for sure.
It does. And I want to get better. I want to go, like, take a class or something, like a seminar. I don't know how. I don't even know what you would do for it.
Can I suggest starting a YouTube show?
No, yeah, that would be great. But I mean, like, get, like, trained, like, professionally trained by someone.
Yeah, of course.
Because if you're going to do something, you may as well do it well. But...
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so, I mean, we've given interviews for years and years just on the poker circuit.
Sure.
And even though it's never, super comfortable, for the most part, it's pretty easy. And especially now, it's like...
Very painless.
It's a breeze.
Yeah.
So, but you're talking to someone that is next to the camera and you're having a conversation.
Right.
And it's just, once you get used to it, you don't worry about the camera, it's just like everyday life.
Right.
For some reason... Look 4 inches to the right into the camera, and everything's different.
That's so funny you should say that. I felt the exact same way until I did run it up, and I just got used to just like talking to the little square box on the top of the monitor. Like I feel like that really helped me with like
right, exactly.
not even just for run it up stuff, but when I did run it up for a few months or whatever it was, and then I had my first like real major like on camera interview, and I did like an ESPN thing. I felt like so much more capable and confident of doing anything because like what does it matter? Just for some reason it definitely helps, so I can definitely see what that would help you.
Yeah, for whatever reason it's just always been a struggle to get over just talking into the camera.
Sure.
I don't know why, it's just much less natural.
Yeah, of course.
So
well, it requires we have a mutual friend, my friend Chase, who says that anybody who's good on camera is at least a little bit psychotic because it requires you to kind of like talk to yourself and like be entertained by your own words and think like you have to have some sort of like an ego to get there in the first place. Like, and I think that's true. And it requires a little bit of like cultivation for you to actually just be able to do it.
Even if you're not like that kind of person, you just have to absorb it and just like get into the role, so to speak.
There's a switch you got to flip.
And I'm not an actor by any means. I'm not good at it, but I'd like to get better. I want to take some class with that too.
That's right.
But
nice.
I've definitely throughout the season of Me versus You, like been in some spots where I need to really get into like a character.
Sure.
And one of them was this most recent one where I have to. Well, I don't even want to like.
Yeah, don't spoil it. Yeah, you guys might not have seen it yet.
But all right, so in some of the episodes where I have to like in the punishment where I'm doing something ridiculous, like let's say a couple weeks ago, I had to act or I had to perform something on the Las Vegas Strip and get tips from it.
Right.
And at first, and this was the first thing that we had shot actually.
I remember that. Yeah.
And episode 8, which is the parkour one, which I lost, and I end up on the Strip doing this like thing for tips. That was we filmed the punishment prior. Like it was like one of the first things we had filmed.
Got ya.
So it was easily the most raw that we were. It was pretty funny like in the moment, but I don't know. Like I didn't love it.
When we edited it back together. Yeah.
But it was definitely the most painful because I had never done that before. They just put me on the Strip with no props and just say, you need to make $10.
Right.
And the first like 10 minutes of filming is me just looking at the camera like,
what am I supposed to do? Right.
Like, how am I ever going to get anyone to
But that's really tough, though. Like, when have you ever in your life had to do anything like that before?
Right.
Yeah.
It was brutal. So then you just need to just start. And then once you start talking, just basically don't stop.
Yeah.
And just forget that you're yourself and pretend because you're going to be embarrassed.
Yeah. You just basically have to, like, pretend you're a different person for the next, like, X amount of time. And just, like, really throw away, like, all sense of, like, humility and just go for it, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
basically.
Right.
Yeah.
so I've done that a couple of times, and then easily. This is kind of annoying, but we're just going to bet once.
I actually don't even mind check calling here. Also, in this thing, I think betting is fine, but I actually don't mind check calling either
because I was going to bet.
Because she's never gonna fold like she's probably not gonna fold anything that's like an 8 or better, right? So she folds 7s and worse, but otherwise, you just check call. It's okay. I think like she's probably.
It's kind of like hard to play post once the turn hits.
Post turn.
Depending on what she's gonna think I have.
Sure, of course. I'm not saying it's definitely always great, but just sometimes I think I don't mind that.
To put it in your range.
I've actually been trying to find spots to bet less. Because I feel like one of the things when I was really talking a lot of poker over the summer with people is that I feel like maybe I bet on flop too often, even though I feel like that's the thing that works very often in tournaments at least, but that there are more spots to like check back and stuff. I've actually been playing mostly PLO in the last few months, and I mean that obviously changes your entire lens of things. There was an episode earlier this season and Run It Up where I had jacks on a 3-3-3-7-7 board and just called river because I like PLO autopilot I just call, and obviously had 9s or something. But
yeah,
how are you feeling about this spot?
So no one folds the 3-bets anymore, but I still do. And this is not a great hand of
I will say that is a big 3-bet. He made it, like 3.5x. Yeah, that's a big 3-bet to make. That's why I gotta have antes in there.
Back to me versus you. So the thing where I really, like, my first ever, like, real acting, I suppose, was in the dog attack episode where we did the Dexter parody.
Dude, that was great, though. That was really good, I thought.
And I really enjoyed it. It was,
I really enjoyed that, too.
So I'd never seen Dexter before.
Oh, wow.
And I just watched this clip that Dustin wanted me to watch.
Yeah, the producer brought it up.
Right.
Sorry, Ultimate. Of Me Versus You.
Producer versus You, works at Ultimate.
Works at Ultimate.
He showed me this clip that he kind of liked to model this punishment after.
Right.
And I said, okay, I'll do that. And then basically we ripped the lines like nearly verbatim, changed it up where
changed
it made
it up a little
sense
bit. Yeah,
so
right.
I wasn't actually slicing her face. So I was putting some peanut butter on there. But I just basically tried to be the creepiest dude I could be.
Dude, you did a great job.
And just absorb it.
Yeah.
And I think it went pretty well. I mean,
so,
I got a lot of like feedback that either said it was really good or that they hated how creepy I was, which I think is also good.
It's also a compliment. Yeah. It's an acting thing. It's like hating like Hannibal Lecter, like hating Anthony Hopkins when he was doing that. I think it's great. I mean, not that you're Anthony Hopkins by any means, but but might as well. So what are you planning on, like, what is your next step when it comes to like this like video stuff? Are you planning on doing another season of Me vs. You? Do you have any ideas about that? I actually don't know if that's a thing that's been decided or not. Are you planning on doing other things with like commentary? Obviously, you and I have done a bunch of commentary stuff before. What are your plans with non-poker play stuff, content, things like that?
I don't want to say definitely, but it seems almost certain. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet again. I should have bet 44 this time. I don't know why. Change it up.
I like 42. It's fine.
So I think we're going to do another season of Me versus You.
Okay.
Pretty excited. We're actually getting ready to film the finale now.
Yep.
Which I'm not sure exactly when we're going to film it.
By the time this airs, people still won't have seen it. So yeah, it's still coming.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a little while. Usually it's every 2 weeks, but I think it's going to be a little bit longer this time.
Right.
Because of our schedules. I mean, I'm going to play Borgata.
Dude, it's tough, man. It's tough. I think that's one of the biggest challenges with poker players is that everybody has schedules and tournaments and this, that, and other thing. It's hard to coordinate people.
Right. And I don't want to give too much away. I don't really even know that much, but we'll just say that Jason may or may not have a role in the episode.
I actually have no idea about this. So,
okay, good. So basically, you have to get a lot of people's schedules to combine. And especially when those people are poker players traveling to play different tournaments.
Oh, it's really tough. Really tough.
It's not the easiest thing to do. So we'll be a little bit late on the finale, but whatever.
My plans for season 2 were to do the whole thing by myself at first because I was like, I just don't want to bother with coordinating with everybody. Mm-hmm. And then Danielle came on, and then we had Antonio just on who lost money, and now you. And who knows who else is coming? This is only halfway through the season. This is episode 21.
Really? That's a lot of episodes so far.
Yeah.
You're just cranking them out.
Yeah, we're doing one a day for 50 days. 7 days a week for 7 days a week for 7 weeks, and then one extra for the fans.
Wow!
So 50 episodes. That's it
for the fans.
Yeah.
No weekends off.
No days off, bro. We don't do days off around here.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I wanted to just there are a lot of different reasons I wanted to try doing like this. Every episode would be 30 minutes. Because last season everything was basically just on the seat of I was flying by the seat of my pants for every decision. Mm-hmm. So this season I really wanted to try doing like 50 higher quality 30-minute episodes. And
higher quality? Is that even possible?
Dude, the fireplace is extra nice this year. I don't know if you got to see it yet. I actually just turn it on now, and I'm just in here by myself. Literally, I just leave it on, just nice by the fire, nice and relaxed.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Antonio walked over to me and was like, "What do I have to pay you to just buy this?" And I was like, "Are you kidding? Off the wall?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I was like,
"Seems more efficient to just get his own."
Yeah, I'll just send you one. And he goes like,
"Whoa,
send me a
put
link."
It on the wall?
Okay, well, you meaning me is the answer is no, but
right, but that was
certain straight men did put on the wall. So it wasn't me.
It was your brainchild.
Yeah.
I thought it just came in this place.
No.
It's part of the set.
Yeah, it's part of the set. Everything is all my brainchilds, bro. The LED board was an upgrade from the whiteboard from last season. I actually drew that Twitter bird myself that you can see over there.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
By the way, you guys can follow me on Twitter at Dan O'Brien Poker.
That's right.
I try to respond sometimes. I don't know. It's not that easy.
It's not when you're big time Dan O'Brien.
No, that's not it. It's that I'm trying to make an effort not to be on my phone all the time.
Sure. I knew I wasn't going to get to take a real break from between the World Series and when Run It Up started on season 2. So my compromise break to myself was to just completely avoid Facebook and Twitter for like an entire month. And that's what I did.
Wow.
I wasn't on from the end of the series till I posted that Run It Up is returning soon in the middle of August. And even then I didn't really go back till the episodes really started.
Nice.
You just got to disconnect yourself a little bit.
You have Instagram too, right?
Yeah, I sure do. I just broke 2,000 followers. Very excited
Wow,
about that.
I just broke 1,000, but
Nice.
That makes sense. I'm about half the man you are.
Half the Instagram man, at least, you know? I feel like I have a lot of cool things that I can take pictures of in my life. I feel like Instagram, it's a little, it's a little silly. I feel like I don't really have like the artistic, integrity to really make like a sick Instagram.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are some cool things going on. I got to ride in a Rolls Royce the other day. That was fun.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw you posted about it.
That's nice. Wow.
A lot of times I think, okay, this is a cool picture I should put on Instagram.
Yeah.
And about, I'd say about the 30 seconds it takes.
By the time you get to the post button, yeah.
And then to write something about it, I just never make it.
Yeah.
And I just wind up not posting almost all the stuff I want to, but I'm going to try to make a better effort. And it's Dan O'Brien Poker on there also, if you guys want to follow.
Maybe we should do some sort of like a healthy sort of like Instagram bet. Like not like a race to anything. We should just do like a consistency bet. Like we should both make like one Instagram post a day.
This is the worst bet ever.
No, it's great. The fans will be excited. This is what you're talking about. People want to see more Dan O'Brien content.
Just so you know, I have a problem referring to the fans. It just sounds
Who do you think is watching this? It's not just you and me talking.
Yeah,
Did you know that? This is on recording.
Why is anyone a fan? I mean, of you, sure, but I feel like I don't have any fans. Like
you have a show too. What are you talking about? Technically, Me Versus You just crushes it. What are you talking about? You've got plenty of fans. I've literally watched Danielle talk to fans. I just saw you literally came over, and some of my buddies who are here were talking to you about things they liked and stuff like that. Yeah, that's great.
I don't know. It's just like a weird thought. Like I don't like to be that
guy.
Well, you know what? Because you see these actors on shows, and it's like, yeah, this one's for the fans, or like the way they mingle with the fans. It's like a very like ivory tower type of mentality.
But you can be a man of the people. That's how I feel like. That's how I feel. I feel like we're just all.
Do you feel like a man of the people?
In some degree, I am wearing pajamas. I'm doing this.
You know why you feel like a man of the people? Because you are a man of the people. You're above no one. Don't act like you are.
Oh, thank you. I think. Well, on that awesome note, we're going to take a quick break, as in like 24 hours for you guys. So don't forget, you can send Dan a tweet at Dan O'Brien Poker. Say, thanks for coming on and running it up. I hope that you win in tomorrow's episode. Give him some encouragement. I'm sure Dan would like to hear that, even though it's not really how the time matrix works. But you can pretend it works that way. And we'll be back here tomorrow for the last half of this 2-5 session with Dan O'Brien. We'll see you guys back for more tomorrow. Peace.
Thanks for watching.
Good. I was worried that you were going to fold. People think you're kind of a nit. Did you know that?
You say that. They think that because you propagated it.
And then a hero comes along, says the Moon Girl.
With the strength to carry on. I don't know how the melody goes. And if I did, I wouldn't be able to sing it. You can't just go butcher a national anthem.
Yeah.
People aren't going to like that.
People are going to be upset. You're going to cause an international incident.
Of course. It really is like taking the flag and stomping.
I have a boyfriend who just does work for me for the last few years. So.
Oh, man.
How nice is that?
I need a boyfriend. Bagels, no. Festivus, yes.